There's no going
So you
back.
can do what you wanna do.
Hello again and welcome to day 6. What I'm going to be doing today, I've zoomed into a very small little area here on my drawing table because I'm going to show you how to draw a smooth value. Let's first talk about paper. Now in front of me I have 3 different types of paper. You probably won't be able to see the tooth in the camera, so I'm actually going to do a little bit of drawing on them to show you. Now what I've got here is an Ashrad 200 gram. That is just, Ashrad is the brand name of the particular paper. I'm very fond of Ashrad paper. This one is Prime Art, and this is a multimedia paper, so it also can take watercolor, etc. And this is a 300 gram. And then here I've got plain bond paper, 180 gram. Okay. Unfortunately, in the context of this video, these 2 pieces of paper have got both medium tooth papers. I like a fine tooth. The Prime Art is slightly finer possibly than the Ashrad, but they are both graded as medium tooth. The bond paper is very fine tooth. It's smooth, smooth, smooth. Now, obviously, if your paper's got some serious tooth on it, you're going to get a lot more texture in your pencil work. So the finer your paper, the finer your pencil work is going to come out as. The next thing we're going to have a look at is the pencil that you're using. And once I've gone through the pencils, I will demonstrate to you how the combination of pencil and paper affects the texture of what it is that you're drawing. These are my favorite pencils. These are leadless pencils. I like the weight of them in my hand. This particular one is a crater color, and it's a 4B. I've also got some 6Bs. This one is also really nice. It's a Faber-Castell. It's a wooded pencil. That's an 8B, and if you notice, my tips are quite blunt, and that's for a reason, because I wanted to create a smooth tone finish. So what I've done is I've sharpened the pencil, and then I've just rubbed it on a little bit of sandpaper or on a nail file, just something to slightly blunten the tip, get a little rounded tip there, because I don't want sharp lines in this case. I found that the 4B and the 6B pencil don't give you nice sharp lines anyway. If you're doing something like, for example, hair, then you're going to have to revert to possibly a 2B pencil. That is a harder pencil, and it gives you sharper lines, but in this case we're looking at a flat tone anyway, so I'm going for a softer pencil. Now with my 8B pencil, if I draw small little circles, I can get a fairly even tone. If I draw, and I've got a medium pressure here, I'm not pushing down too hard. Now hopefully the camera is picking this up, that as you can see, the pencil is not filling the tooth. I'm not pressing hard enough for it to fill the tooth. If I did that, I would be getting a very dark piece of graphite going on there. But as you can see, if I just go backwards and forwards, because it's a soft pencil and because there's a medium tooth on this paper, you can see in between I've got little bits of paper that are not filled with graphite. So we can see here how the combination of the softness of your pencil and the tooth of your paper that you're working on can help you create the type of texture that you're looking for. Now if I had a harder pencil here, I could do the same thing here and not get as much graphite down onto the paper. I would come up with a pretty similar effect, but because the pencil itself is a lot lighter, you're not going to see it very well. This is why I went for the 6B and the 8B pencil. Alright, so now let's talk about pencil skills themselves. Now for this I'm going to use a 6B pencil. Just put that to the one side, that's the other side, and we're going to do a comparison on all 3 of them as we did before. Now let's say for example you're drawing a portrait and you're doing the part of the face that has little landscape. So in other words, the cheeks that are all nice and smooth, for example. You want as much smoothness as possible. Now I'm working with a slightly to the side of my pencil with a constant pressure, and then if I want less tone, of course I'm just going to put less pressure on the pencil. Now what I found difficult, and you might find the same, is in that area. This part of the area has not such an issue because you've got a fair bit of pressure going on there. But in this part of the drawing where you've got very little pressure because you're trying to lighten it, you can almost create little lines if you're not careful. So the secret is to keep your pencil movements circular. First of all, give it a rub to blunten it, so you've got a nice blunt area. Now you put that blunt area down on your paper and work in little circles backwards and forwards over the area to create as smooth a finish as possible. This helps the finished effect to not have so many almost streaky lines that happen. I'm coming back now because my gradient maybe ended a little bit sharply, so I'll come back and just tone it out. And then of course if I want to go really dark there, and the very dark areas it's less of an issue. You can go backwards and forwards, you can create little circles if you want to, but because you're able to fill the tooth of the paper there, it's less of an issue. Now let's do that same effect or the same exercise here on the bond paper. I'm working again with my blunted pencil. As you can see, I didn't sharpen it in between. I want a slightly blunted tip, and again I'm putting a fairly medium pressure on my pencil. Now immediately you can see the smoothness of what I'm doing. Much smoother than the Ashrad paper. Working in little circles, going backwards and forwards over the same area with varying pressure. And again, I can come back here to just make my tone a bit more even because I ended it a little bit abruptly. You can also feel the difference when you're working on the Ashrad paper and when you're working on the bond paper. You can feel how much smoother the pencil glides on the bond paper under your fingers. Right, and then I want to come back here and really give it some pressure. Again, not being too worried about my little circles until I come here to smooth out the graduation. Now you might notice that when I'm drawing, I don't talk very well. And that's a whole left brain, right brain thing. We're going to do a lesson because it's one of my favorite things. I know people that don't believe in the left brain, right. In fact, one of my students argues with me. She always tells me, what's this left brain, right brain nonsense? I'm a firm believer in it. And drawing happens on the right side of your brain and speech happens on the left side of your brain. So there's this whole conflict going on in between. What I've shown you here is smooth paper works best. Your 8B pencil, 8B or 6B, what am I working? Okay, in this case it's a 6B. 4, 6 and 8Bs are the best for when you're working with portraiture, for example, or something that you want to get a smooth, even tone with. Something that doesn't have a lot of detail, if you do have detail, like I said, you revert to your 2Bs or even your HB to get, for example, if you're doing a portrait and you want to put in the little eyelashes or the small little creases or the detail in the eye itself, then you would go to your 2B, but for the actual tonal work you would stick with your 6 or 8B. So I've shown you the paper, I've shown you the quality of the pencil itself, and of course your pencil skills here, working in little circles. Now there's lots and lots of different pencil skills. I'm just showing you the one that you will be most helpful to you for nice, smooth, even skin tones. I hope that helps. I hope that helps you to understand what you may have been struggling with when you're doing your pencil sketches. If ever you've done a pencil sketch and you have a look at it afterwards and you think, oh my word, that skin tone is nowhere near smooth enough, it could be one or all three of these different techniques that I've been talking about: the paper, the pencil work, or the gradient, the graphite grade of the pencil lead itself. Okay, well, good luck with your drawing. I wish you smooth and even textures, and I will see you in our next video of the 365-day challenge. Please will you share on your Facebook page, put it on Pinterest, do everything that you need to do to get this out there.